Hey, all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hello. Thank you, Stephen, for kicking it off. Thank you so much, Stephen, for kicking off the contributions. I definitely appreciate your support, sweetheart. And all of you guys' support means a lot to me. This one is not going to be 2 hours. It might be the hour. Maybe it'll be an hour today. Because we're going in on the second part. We're going in on the second part. Thank you, Miss Lou Casely, my sweetheart. We're going to go in on the second part of it. And the only reason that I'm continuing this on into today is because the lady still need a talking to. Like, she is the poster child for the delusional, I'm gonna stay in this so-called relationship, and if I just waste enough of my time, he'll change. And that, I don't know what it takes. I don't know how much of y'all lived experiences combined. I don't know what it takes for y'all to understand that it's just not gonna happen. It just don't happen. Thank you, Miss Bella. Thank you, Sweetie Pie. Thank you, Undani said, for a plate, light and fluid, and born day cake. Oh, thank you so much. Oh yeah, because my birthday coming up in 10 days. I want to say 10 days. Right, David. How you marry in the situationship. How your marriage is a situationship. And most of y'all relationships are situationships. You get any in these relationships thinking that you are going to make a change. That babies is gonna keep them, and if you just put up with enough of his BS, or if you just... The more she talked and the more I have looked at some of his content, because I don't watch Derrick Jackson, right? I ain't never watched Derrick Jackson. I always thought it was ridiculous. He's still, in my opinion, he's still a narcissist. A textbook, Narcissistic Personality Disorder 101. If that man don't got that, I don't know what's going on. Because everything that I'm hearing, both the way she present him and describe their relationship, coupled with how he has presented himself over the years, how he speaks about himself, how he speaks about other people. Narcissistic personality disorder. And I keep bringing that up because that is actually a deeper layer. It's a different layer. It adds a different color to what's going on with him, and why the relationship, it was so incredibly toxic, right? Because both of them are toxic, but that when you deal with a narc, that add another layer to the toxicity of what it is, because narcs reel you in. Narcs narcs are very intelligent. Let's understand that narcs are intelligent. They are highly manipulative. One of the foundational issues that narcissists have that makes them narcs is the inability to self-validate. Narcissists do not have the ability to validate themselves. So they seek consistently external validation, and they will do anything, and I do mean anything, to receive that validation. They like praise. They like to be praised. They like to be lauded. They like to be adored. They like pretty much worship. They want to be pretty much worshiped. And in light of that, a lot of narcissists, not everybody, but a lot of narcissists will become successful in like business and career and stuff like that, because that elicits external validation from other people. If a narc is good at their business or they're successful somehow, then other people will praise them. Okay? And so they like that praising. They like being praised. So a lot of times they will utilize that drive to overachieve. And in that overachieving, people will praise them for their success and, you know, their talent or things of that nature. So they're very intelligent. They're very intelligent. And they're very cunning. And they are also very manipulative. The thing about a narc is that the things that you would do to fix a regular relationship when you're not dealing with a narc, the things that you would do to fix a regular relationship, you can't do that with a narc, because it actually has the opposite effect. So talking to them about problems that you have in a relationship, talking about the direction of the relationship and how unhappy you are, that don't faze them. Because narcissists, pretty much by definition, don't have empathy. They don't have empathy for other people. They only care about whether or not their needs are met. They don't care about meeting your needs, right? And they don't care what happens to you as long as their needs are being met. They don't care how their meeting of their needs affect you. They don't care about that at all. They don't care about that at all. You can tell them how it make you feel, but in the mind of a narcissist, if you don't leave, you're tolerating it and you like it. So you like their treatment if you don't actually leave. Now, they do everything in their power to try to make you not leave. That's where the gaslighting, the manipulation, promising you things. You know, they know what your problems are in the relationship. So in order to keep you roped in, they give a little bit of that. So this is the discard phase. I'm explaining it because when you hear her talk about it, you'll understand why I think he's an narc. Okay? So you'll be able to understand the other layer of the toxicity. Okay? Because she explained how her bringing up her pain. Anyway, I don't want this to be a show about a narc, but it's important for this particular analysis because he is one. I'm convinced about that. Having been in a relationship before with a narcissist, I can see them. Now I can see them. It takes a minute. If you've never dealt with them, it takes you a minute to catch on to why you can't, why this not working. Nothing that you do works. Nothing that you do works. Because they don't actually care about your experience or your feeling. So just to sort of wrap that up, narcissists do not care about what you're going through as long as their needs are being met. Whether you're meeting them or they're getting them met outside of the relationship, they don't care. As long they're cool. As long as they're getting what they want from anywhere they can get it from, they're actually good. Okay? They're good. You're not good because you're not getting what you want out of the relationship, but they don't care about that. And bringing them your issues just exasperates them. Because they don't like focusing on you and stuff that you going through. So when you talk about you and then you talk about how they're hurting you, they always flip that back to you. And how all of this, whatever they was doing, was your fault. And how that if you stop doing A, B, and C, then they wouldn't be doing D, E, and F. You see what I'm saying? So it's always your fault. With a narc, everything is your fault. Everything. Now, let me flip that a little bit. Thank you, G Money said, going back to your show yesterday, I bet the dude she used to make him jealous was probably the one who truly liked her. Probably, which is why he helped her. And thank you so much. Here's the kicker box. There has to be a level of brokenness to you to deal with a narc, myself included. I got caught up with a narc because even though I had gone through a long period of healing, there was enough residual issues that it allowed me to get caught up with a narc. Because the reason why I say that is because when you're whole and you don't have broken pieces, you know what you do with people? With anybody, not just people you suspect to be narcs, but anybody. Healed people have boundaries in their relationships. I'm going somewhere with this. Healed people have boundaries, whether those are friendships, co-workerships, romantic relationships, family relationships, whatever those types of relationships are, healthy people create healthy boundaries. Okay? There are healthy boundaries in these relationships. All right? The fastest way to get rid of a narc is to present boundaries to them and enforce those boundaries. This is why I say healthy people don't really get caught up with narcs. Not a lot, because you gotta have a trouble with a boundary, and that was actually my trouble. One of my residual problems from the trauma and trying to heal from it and all that kind of stuff was I had an issue with boundaries. With stating boundaries clearly and then sticking to them and making other people stick to them. So because I was soft with boundaries, that's the green light that narcs need in order to push the envelope with you and keep going. If you tell them no and you mean that and you stick to that with them, they really don't have a choice but to start leaving you alone, because the gaslighting and the manipulation doesn't work if there are healthy enforced boundaries there. So they're actually unable to engage in their personality disorder with you because the boundaries and things of that nature actually stops them from that. So they are not enabled to continue with you and gaslight and play and do all this other manipulative tactics with you, and that frustrates them, and so therefore they will go away. She doesn't have any boundaries. Danae Jackson didn't have boundaries. And then when she tried to create a boundary for him after having not had any boundaries, thank you, Miss 39 Dina, after actually not having had nor enforced any boundaries, he wasn't gonna take that. He wasn't actually going to take that, okay? Because then narcs get into narcissistic injury with you. What is narcissistic injury? Narcissistic injury is when you call them out on their BS. They don't have a defense. So they get mad at you for calling them out and feeling a way about the things that they do to you. So once they feel a way about you calling them out, that is narcissistic injury. They feel wounded. They're the victim. Now, after you say how much they victimized you and you be right, they get to feeling a way about it. And so they go into narcissistic injury. They have to punish you for that. They have to punish you for that. So the way in which to punish you for after receiving a narcissistic injury is more gaslighting and doing more things that they know you don't like. So they'll actually up the ante. And the other thing that they do is they will project. They're very good at it. To project the things that they do onto you and make you guilty. You'll be apologizing for stuff that they did to you by the end of the conversation. By the end of the conversation, you'll be sorry to them. But they be the one that did you wrong. Okay? David said this is Patreon content. This Patreon content, y'all. This Patreon, y'all need help with narc stuff. Y'all might need help with narcs. Y'all want Patreon content about narcs and stuff? Okay. We can do the narc. Let's see. Patreon. Narc relationships. Okay. So let's pivot away a little bit from the whole narc thing. I wanted to present that layer so that people listening could actually understand and be like, so it don't make no sense. Why would you respond that way to that? I have to say this as well. The constant sort of laughing that the interviewer is doing, I don't know if nobody else, did y'all feel a way about the laughing? I kind of felt a way about the laughing. It was a lot of laughing. Y'all, did y'all feel a way about because he was giggling a lot. I just didn't see a lot of that was funny. I think she was being serious a lot of them times. I think he was just attracted to her. That was the laugh of a man that liked her. That was the laugh of a man that's attracted to the woman he talking to. You think you might be married to a narc? Listen, some of the best of us will get caught up with a narcissist. And I'm not talking about just a person that has a few narcissistic traits. I'm talking about a full-blown person that can be diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder. I am not talking about just throwing that word around for people who want to be selfish or people who, you know what I mean? I mean an actual narcissist, like as is described in the DSM. Okay. Yeah, not all narcs are always malicious. They're not always malicious, but they the things that they do, that gaslighting is malicious because they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. But the one that I was with, he had good qualities. He wasn't completely a bad person. You could see that he would have been okay had he not had narcissistic personality disorder. But he did have it. So that tainted everything. It's like, why are you like this? We be going good and then it's messed up. It's something messed up. I couldn't read it though. I could not see that until later. It was like, oh, that's what's wrong with you. I thought it was me. No, it's actually you. Oh, okay. Oh, you a narc. Oh, see, I didn't know you was a narc. You kind of can't help doing some of this stuff. Some of this stuff you can't help doing. They kind of can't help it because it is a personality disorder. But that just because it's a personality disorder doesn't mean that they're not aware that they do that. They know what they're doing. It's weird. It's weird because on the one hand they kind of can't help the way that they engage with everybody else. That's where the disorder part come in at, because they can't help how they are engaging. But at the same time, they're not completely unaware of this fact, that the fact that they hurt you, the fact that the things that they do bother you and that you are hurt, they are not unaware of that. That's where the manipulation come in at, because they know that the stuff that they're doing, you don't like this. They know that. But they aren't really capable of not engaging you in this dysfunctional way, because they are dysfunctional. So they can't help but engage in a dysfunctional way. They don't know how to engage healthily unless they go to therapy. Most narcs don't go to therapy because they don't think there's nothing wrong with them. That which is a salient feature of being a narcissist. They don't actually think there's nothing wrong with them. They think it's wrong with you. Stuff is wrong with you, not them. They're okay. And point of fact, they're perfect. They believe in their own perfection. It's you. So to get a narc to even see that they are one and that they actually need help with that, that's a task. So narcs rarely get help because they are unaware that it's a disorder. They don't accept that it's a disorder for them. For them, it's normal. It's a normal way to think, and it's a normal way to interact with people. They've been interacting with them like that their whole life, so they don't really understand that. They lack the empathy, just like Undani said, they lack the empathy to truly understand how you're hurt by what they did. They know that you hurt because you're saying that you hurt, you crying, you act hurt. They get that part. On a conscious level, they understand it, but they don't understand it, on an emotional level, because narcs are emotionally distant. They don't connect with their emotions very well. It's almost like a sociopath, almost. So they don't really have a whole lot of that. They don't have a lot of feeling that they can, a lot of empathy that they can give to anybody. They only understand when they are hurt. They understand that very well, but they don't understand your hurt. Okay. So the narcs are interesting. They're an interesting group of people. I don't advise getting caught up with them. You can probably do business with them. They're very shrewd. Um, a lot of, like I said before, a lot of narcs are successful in their career or business because that gets them accolades, and they like that. They like being praised for the things that they do. Okay, so that's one of, they're very charming. Narcs have a specific cycle of relationship. This is the most I'm gonna say because I've spent a lot of time here. Um, Narcissists have the love bomb stage. They will love you. They will be the most awesome woman or man that you have ever met. That's what ropes you into them because they are mirrors. They don't really have personalities of their own, so they copy yours. So the things that you interested in and the things that you like and the stuff that they will relate to that because they don't know what else to do. So they will mirror you, and that makes you feel connected to them. So that's how they build connection with you. So if you like a particular kind of music, they like that music. If you like a particular kind of movie, they like that movie. If you like, you know what I mean? They will do that with you. And love bombing can last anywhere from a few weeks to a few months to a few years. Okay? They can love bomb you for a long time. That is what makes the emotional connection. After the love bombing, you start going into a devaluing stage where they start talking to you like you don't mean much to them. They start telling you about all of your bad qualities. They start talking about how you're not good enough, how, you should be improved, you should be better. You should be, you're not good as this person, or you're not good as that person, or you're not as good as they ex, or you're not, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of downplaying you and beating you down from a self-esteem point of view. They devalue you as a person. Okay? They devalue you as a person. After the devaluing stage can also last for a long time. After the devaluing stage, then comes the discard, where they can do with or without you now. They've used you for however much they can get out of you, and now it's like you can go. You can stay or you can go. They don't care. They don't care at that point. If you leave before the discard, they don't like being discarded. They want to discard you. So if you leave them, they then will go into what is called a hoovering, like vacuuming, where they try to get you back. That stage is dangerous because they go back to the love bomb stage. They go back to the stage that emotionally connected you to them in the first place. So they start giving you the stuff that you wanted in a relationship. All the stuff you begged for, they will start doing it. You wanted more communication, they'll communicate. You wanted them to be more loving, they'll be more loving. You wanted them to be more affectionate, they'll be more affectionate. You wanted them to talk. Whatever it is that you wanted, they will start giving that to you. And then that in hopes that you will come back and be like, oh, okay, we can fix the relationship. Once you come back into the relationship after they've hoovered you, they'll be into the love bombing stage, but it's very short. They quickly go back into the devalue part of it. They quickly go back into the devalue part of this relationship. Once they get you back comfortable and they get back into devaluing you, then they're going to head into the discard phase. Okay? So, when you leave them, they hoover you. Okay? Thank you, Firebird. Said I knew a narcissist for over 20 years. When I finally confronted her, I ended up apologizing for stuff that wasn't even my fault. She went to school for psychology, which made her manipulation tactics all the more potent. Thank you so much, Firebird. Thank you, Coffee Cafe. Because women are more masculine now, you will find more narcissist traits in women, especially modern women. I believe that there are more narcs now than there used to be, just because of the way that the family structure has been obliterated. And the focus is on self a lot now. Everybody need to be selfish. So I do think because narcs are produced. Thank you, Kashinsky. I wonder how bad things got to get before black people get it together. Most of us are too far gone. This is true. So enough about narcs. Let's get to, it was important. I think maybe somebody needed to hear it, because I did not intend on talking about narcissists. Like I intended on saying a couple of sentences about narcissists, but not going into all of the different traits and the cycle of their relationship. Okay. Okay. Personally, I believe that even though narcissistic personality disorder is something that can be diagnosed psychologically, I tend to think it's more of a spiritual issue. That is a demon. That spirit that infests them, I believe that to be a demonic entity. Because it's too potent. It's too potent. It's way too potent. It's too destructive. That is a demon. That is a demon. Not only is it a psychological issue and a personality disorder, it's a demon. This is my personal opinion on that. I'm not calling every narcissist a demon. I'm saying that energy, that is a demonic energy. That's not a good energy at all. That is a very bad energy. Very bad energy. Thank you, Bezzy. Said, it's unfortunate, but I feel a lot of our people suffer from narcissistic personality disorder. Poor parenting and not being validated as children lead to this, myself included. You can heal. Thank you so much. Okay. Thank you so much. I do think narcs can get help. I do think not, but they have to think that something is wrong with them, and that's the trick. Okay. So that's just my armchair diagnosis. I am not a psychiatrist, nor am I a psychologist, so please do not take anything that I have said as medical advice or anything like that. I am just simply giving my personal opinion on what I think narcissistic energy, the root of it. Okay. So I want to share screen because I want to get to this. She starts talking about them being split. I'm going to catch you up a little bit because this is starting at like the 35-minute mark. She talked about at this point in the story, they're already married and things of that nature. And she's talking about how she's gone to therapy, how her family has gotten involved, and how she had actually ended up breaking up with him at some point, and they were separated. And so she wanted to get back with him, or they wanted to get back together. So this is where the story picks up. I'm going to let it roll for about 2 minutes because I really want y'all to kind of hear the delusion.
Back, what happened?
When we got back, when I got back.
And give me time frame. So this was in 2020 or 2021 now?
Okay, so this is 2020. I came back. So when I came back, I didn't go back to Georgia. This was part of the parameters. Like, we need to leave Georgia. Georgia's not the place for us. There's too much.
Too much access. Emphasis on access.
Lots of it open, right?
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm really feeling Texas. I feel like it's equidistant between both of our families as far as travel time. I'm thinking Houston, but he was getting Dallas. So I was like, okay, like, let's go. Okay, so we're going to Dallas. So he ended up packing up the whole house pretty much in Georgia. And after I told him he needed to get rid of a lot of things. And and then I met him here in Texas, and we started here in Texas, and it was like, it felt great. Like, it felt good. We had people here in the church that we were meeting with regularly. And we were looking for different places, like where we wanted to settle down. We started in Plano and went to a couple of different places. And so I felt like it was like on track. Of course, there's always issues, right? We're still recovering from whole trauma, right?
Yeah.
Like, we're not going to skip past the fact that there was all these women involved in the marriage,
Right.
that I'm still dealing with. On top of, now I'm actively unpacking the rape trauma at the same time that I'm dealing with the betrayal trauma from the infidelity. Like, all of it's happening at the same time. And so he was very supportive. I feel like he was very supportive and understanding, and like, okay, what do I need to do? And all these things that I couldn't have asked like for more of, so.
And then when did the infamous bonnet video, when did that take place? When
So
was
that
he
was-
outed?
That was 2021.
So
that was in
everything was
March.
going. So everything was going pretty good.
Overall, yeah.
Overall,
Everything
y'all
was
new start.
Yes, overall, it was a new start. We're still just kind of unpacking just all of the stuff, right?
But
And
he's
so-
doing the work, y'all.
Yeah, he's
y'all
doing-
have a spiritual oversight that's
Yeah,
helping y'all
he's
walk through
doing
some
the-
stuff. He's
he-
spending time with the kids now.
Yes.
He's scheduling time with the kids. Did y'all renew y'all vows?
We did not. That was one of the things that did not happen. And, that was something like, okay, we need to put it on the priority list, and it just never, it never happened clearly. But
Right.
that did not happen. But all the other things were little. I'm like, okay, we can get there. All these other things are
Change his
important.
numbers, both his numbers.
He changed both of the numbers, but apparently people still had access. So
Now we gonna stop it. We gonna stop it right here because I need to speak on a couple of things that were said here. Okay. Okay. Did I miss somebody's super chat? No. Okay. Problem. She going back to a relationship that he is, quote unquote, putting forth the effort that she has always been asking for in their marriage. Listen, she got to talking about unpacking trauma. She got to talking about unpacking the trauma of being raped, okay? But then she started talking about unpacking the so-called trauma of the betrayal, of the cheating in the marriage. And this is where we break down the delusions. This is where the delusion was coming in at. Because, baby girl, you just sat there in part 1 of that interview. You just sat there and told us how you wanted to win him above everybody else, and he always had other women. He has always had other women. That has never been a secret. He has never been monogamous. He never told you that he was gonna be. He never acted like he was gonna be. He never did it. He always had other women around. You saw them. You were in direct competition with the women. From what she explained, they were literally passing each other on the stairwell from what she's saying, okay? All up and down. You know that this man is not interested at any point in time in being monogamous with you and nobody else. It's not even personal. That's just not what it is. Some men are not built for that. Some men they are never gonna be monogamous. And it just is what it is. There are some men that can do monogamy. And there are other men that absolutely cannot. They can't do it. They're just not built. It's just not in them. It's not in them. They ain't never gonna be with one woman. They never gonna do it. Whether they do that dysfunctionally or whether they do that within the confines of a polygynous marriage with structure and everything, they're not, listen, they're gonna act that out. They're going to act that out. They always gonna act it out. They always gonna have more than one. They're always gonna do it. There are men that's always gonna do it. That don't necessarily make them bad, because there are men who have wives, not just concubines and chicks and side pieces and all that kind of stuff. They have wives. They're dedicated to those women. They take care of those women. They provide for those women. They give all the women all 4 P's, but they're going to do it with more than one woman. And it is what it is. They're going to do that with more than one. And you have to decide whether or not you can take that or not. And if you can't take that, if there's something inside of you as a woman that makes it where you cannot do this, you should not do this. Don't involve yourself, because it's not going to stop. There is no set of rules you can make that's going to stop him from doing that. You can't watch him 24 hours a day. And really, why would you want to? You can't. Constantly begging him to promise you that he's not going to be with another woman, that just make him lie to you. It just make him lie. Because he's showing you with his actions what he's doing, and you just want to hear the words. You want the words to come out of his mouth that he's not going to do it. Okay. He'll say, yeah, I won't do it. Because these are the words apparently that you want to hear. But his actions will always prove out what's really happening. And he gonna have another woman. He just make him hide it. Now you want the illusion of monogamy from a man that don't practice it. And this is where the delusion is coming from. This is why a lot of men be talking about how women like to be lied to. Because sometimes y'all be liking to be lied to. Y'all just want somebody to be lying to y'all because y'all want the illusion of whatever it is that you want. Here you have a man that has always had more than one woman. Always had a rotation. You caught feelings. You love him. You want to be with him. And now you want exclusive rights to him. Exclusive access to him. And he's not going to do that. He's never going to do that. He has never done that. And he has shown you repeatedly through his actions that he will never do that. You want to convince yourself that somehow you can create a boundary or a standard or a rule, or you can get somebody else to create a rule or enforce somehow that he don't do that. It's not going to happen. I don't want him to have no women. Well, then you shouldn't have spent more than a decade establishing that you didn't mind him having more than one woman. See, you can't do that. After you have not had particular boundaries for so long, you cannot just introduce them boundaries and think that they're going to be respected. It's not going to happen because you spent too long establishing certain things. See, the way in which you begin a relationship and the things that you tolerate in the beginning of a relationship versus the things that you do not tolerate in the beginning of a relationship sets the stage for the rest of the relationship. Do y'all understand that? Apparently, a lot of y'all females do not get that part. I'm trying to help y'all. Auntie Cream trying to help y'all. How you start that relationship, how it's gonna go. So if you start that relationship turning a blind eye to a whole bunch of women in rotations, that means you will turn a blind eye to a bunch of women in a rotation. That's what that means. This is the same thing with men to women. If you let her play in your face as a man in the beginning of the relationship because you think she's so cute and this, that, and the third, and so you let her get away with saying little slick stuff to you and doing little slick stuff, you know what I'm saying? She talking a certain kind of little way and she doing a certain kind of little thing that later on you know you're not going to like, you know you're not going to tolerate it, you know you're going to feel away later. You can't let her do it the first time. That's where the check come in at. No, ma'am. You cannot talk to me like that. The first time she get out of pocket is the time to say something. This is the same thing with a woman to a man. The first time within a relationship that something happens that you know you're not going to be able to deal with, this is where a conversation happens. This is where the conversation actually got to happen. And too many of y'all be trying to vibe into these relationships without no conversations. And that's how you get caught up. That's how you get your feelings hurt. That's how you get caught up. It's not these men's fault. Y'all got to, listen, y'all got to open your eyes and you open your mouth at the wrong time. You do not say the things that you need to say and you run your mouth at a time where you don't need to be talking. Y'all got the game all messed up. Because the things that you need to say, you hush your mouth. Now you don't want to say it. Now you think he'll leave you. Girl, if you don't knock that off, you say everything else. You talk out the side of your neck to that man every day. Surely you have the ovaries that are necessary. Surely you have the ovarian fortitude to sit there and have an adult conversation with this man about things that's going on in a relationship. Surely you do. Thank you, dear Philip. Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you so much. Thank you, Miss Almond. I said 3 turns on the hose. Isn't this the karma black women like to wish on black men? Exactly. That's what we saying. Thank you, Pure Yang said, this is why I tell potential girlfriends from the jump that if I ever win the lottery, I want multiple wives. So even if I never get rich, they know my mindset towards other women from the beginning. Okay? And I bet you they ain't not listening to that. These are the conversations that need to be had. And y'all will not have the conversations that you need to have, but you'll have all these frivolous conversations about stuff that you don't even need to be thinking about. Worry about the wrong thing. Y'all be worried about the wrong thing in these relationships. The main ones want to call a feminine woman a pick-me-sha. Y'all be pick-me-sha all across the way because y'all take anything. Y'all will take anything. We don't share men. Meanwhile, you are the 8th baby mama. Talking about you don't share no man. I can't tell. I can't tell. Talking about what a man bet not do. She's sitting around watching sex recordings, talking about what woman he bet not be with. Girl, if you don't get up out of here, if you don't knock all that off, you should have cut that. You should have nipped that in the bud in the beginning. But no, the reason why she nipped that in the bud in the beginning is because in her eyes, he was the catch and the prize. So now she do anything to keep it, including keep her mouth shut about stuff that's actually bothering her. Now, 9, 10, you know what I'm saying? 10, 12, 13 years down the line, 3 kids down the line, now you bothered. Now you don't want him to be with no other women no more. But you sat there. You think he forgot? You think that he forgot when you sat there with him with that phone? Because there ain't no way you had that phone and he wasn't around you with that phone. You had that phone. You had looked, because she said you got an iPhone, so it was in the hidden album. So you went to the hidden album. Let's talk about it. You looked at the videos. You got off on the videos. Let's talk about that part. Y'all had a round table discussion about what happened on that video, because the chick on the video gave head a lot better than you do. So you was trying to mock that. You was trying to copy it because she had a better, you see what I'm saying? The throat game, you understand, was better than yours. So you was trying to get your throat game together, because apparently he liked the way she did it and he don't really be liking the way you be doing it. So you needed to get that part of the game. Stop playing. Now you don't want him to talk to the females. But you was sitting there watching her give him throat. And you was like, oh, so she turned her head to this angle when she got to that. Oh, okay, taking notes. You was taking notes. Okay? You was taking notes. Okay, so she threw it back with the back arched. Oh, you gotta arch your back. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You didn't realize this. That's why he kept on pushing the middle of your back, because you had it humped, but you was supposed to have it arched. You ain't know. Thank you, G Money. Said one thing that women have taught me: if they make their mind up that they want something, they'll destroy anything to get it, including themselves. Thank you so much. Thank you, Miss Jordan. Thank you, sweetheart. Y'all know I am telling the truth. Thank you, Paul. Said, let's stop acting like she wasn't the one taping. Listen, she may not have been the one taping. Maybe she was, maybe she wasn't. But all I'm saying is she was sitting there watching it. And not just one time. And she was sitting there talking about, I knew her body better than I knew my own. So you studying. So you studying. Like you studying for a midterm. You had an open book exam, okay? Thank you, Kevin. Says she didn't arch the back, a rookie mistake. You was studying, trying to see how these other chicks was throwing it back. You was trying to see how these other chicks, you know what I'm saying, was giving up throat and all this other kind of stuff. You was trying to figure out the positioning. You feel me? You was trying to figure it out. That's what you said. Now all of a sudden, you doing this prior to a marriage. All of this you doing prior to a marriage. Now, when you get there to the altar, now all of a sudden you think that this man that you have voluntarily sat and watched him dig out some other female, you have voluntarily been in a rotation. You have voluntarily done these things. Now all of a sudden, standing at the altar, he was supposed to stop. Girl, if you don't knock that off. Why would you think that? What was it in your mind that convinced you that he was gonna stop doing any of that? With or without a marriage? What? Come on. He is not gonna stop. Ever. You set a foundation in the beginning of your relationship that you tolerate this kind of thing. That you not only tolerate it, you accept it. Not only that you accept it, but that you will be participatory on some level with it as well. You spent a decade establishing this as part of the foundation of your relationship. It is not going to now change. And I wish you women would stop that. Stop that. Knock that off. You spend 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years establishing something with a man. That is what is established. And if you didn't like how that was being established, maybe you should not have participated in establishing it. Maybe you should have opened your mouth sooner than that. Or maybe you should have left the whole situation if it wasn't going to serve. And if it wasn't going to be positive. And if it wasn't going to be healthy. Leave it before you have 2 abortions and then have a baby. Leave it before there's, you done wasted 10, 12 years of your life. Leave it before that. Thank you, G Money said this is a prime example how lazy some are. Sex is never the deciding factor for a man to choose the one. Exactly. Thank you. Quick 504 says she wanted the image, status, and headaches that came with being with him. Now she want to shed tears and play victim. She told on herself. She definitely told on herself. I mean, y'all got to stop doing this kind of stuff, women. Because you put yourself in these situations and then you cry about how badly these men have treated you in these situations. But you put yourself there and then you remained there. That's the problem. You put yourself in the situation and then you remain in the situation. She remained. She went back. Several times, not just one time, several times over the course of all of those years. Apparently, she realized that she needed therapy. It didn't occur to her that she needed to have that therapy outside of a relationship. I told you he married her because she would not leave. She would not go. She had established that she was on board for the foolishness. all of his foolishness. And she got him. She got him in all his glory. And then didn't want it after she had gotten there. And I'm going to tell you when she didn't want it. She didn't want it after she had gotten publicly embarrassed by it. Because the story that she tell is that a lot of times she was not being forthcoming to her family about the nature of their relationship and all of the things that was going on in the relationship and all of the things that she had turned a blind eye to and the things that she had allowed to go down in the relationship. And once those things began to surface and it could no longer be hidden and things of that nature, now that her family was getting involved and starting to kind of see like the pitfalls and the problems in the relationship that she probably was trying to cover up and all that kind of stuff, now she want to be embarrassed about it. And the last straw was the public embarrassment after Tasha K broke the story. I do believe it was Tasha K that broke the story and had that whole picture of him with that thought out in Miami, I do believe. Okay. And then Danae shows up with him. This was not that long. She just gave the time span. This was not that long after they had actually gotten back together, trying to repair their relationship. And she shows up in a bonnet. Do y'all understand this? In a bonnet, a sweatshirt, a tam. It wasn't even a bonnet. It was a tam hat, y'all. It was one of them little tam hats. That's what we call them, little tam hats. It look like a little beret. I don't even know what's got to be going on with you in your mind to show up anywhere with a tam hat. Y'all know what I mean by tam hat? I thought I was the only one to say that it was tam hats. The little tam hats. I thought I was the only one saying little tam hats. Because sometimes people look at me like they don't know what I'm talking about. You look at a little tam hat, they be looking like, what kind of little hat? Little tam hat. Y'all ain't seen little tam hat. She showed up in that little tam hat, y'all. Ooh, thank y'all. Thank y'all for proving I ain't crazy. Because they little tam hats now. I don't call them berets. I call them little tam hats. Detro said it was the tam of tomfoolery. I'm done with y'all because y'all gonna start clowning in this chat. Thank you, Dad. I said it said salute. Hey, how you doing, sweetheart? Y'all gonna start clowning in this chat. Y'all is gonna clown in this chat. I knew not to even get y'all started. The Crimsonites is silly. I knew not to get y'all started with them tam hats. She showed up in a knitted tam hat, y'all. You knew it was some foolishness when she showed up with a tam hat. Cause don't nobody even that young supposed to even own a tam hat. If you ain't minimum Gen X, you should not even own a tam hat. I don't even own a tam hat. Thank you, Miss Celine. So her tam hat was a helmet of salvation, as she said. Exactly. Shouldn't he be anybody in their 30s? Anybody younger than a Gen X should not even own a Tam hat. Okay? I'll be 45 in June and I do not own a Tam hat. I promise you I don't own a Tam hat. But I'm going to finish this point and then I'm going to start wrapping this up. Yeah, it was a hostage video. It was knitted, Eunice. It was knitted. And it had them little, it was peasy too. Had them little lint balls on there. It was peasy. Now, how you got a peasy knitted Tam hat on now? Poor thing. I'm glad she dressed better. That I can say. She presenting herself better in terms of how she is, her clothing choices. Because anytime you show up in a Tam hat, I know he told her to show up in that Tam hat. I know he told her to show up in that Tam hat. I got to pivot away from the Tam hats. Lord. Help me, Lord. Because I really want to cut up. I have not cut up with y'all in a very long time. But I'm going to try to be educational. Here's the lesson that I want y'all to take away as women. I'm trying to hold it together because y'all is cutting up in this chat, so I'm going to have to stop looking at the chat. Auntie Krim is going to help you the best that she can. First of all, always do work on yourself. That should go without saying. Do not get into these relationships knowing that you have trauma. Because even if you don't understand how the trauma play out in your life, how it show up, how it manifests, how it affects you, how it affects other people, even if you don't understand all of those dynamics, you do know that you have trauma. You know when you have trauma. Okay? So if you know that you have trauma, then you also must know that you must work on that trauma, even if you don't understand all of its layers. Okay? That's number one. Number two, when people show you who they are, you must believe them. And there is no amount of hoping and wishing and praying that's going to make people do something different. Men are going to be who they are. If they are good, hardworking, upstanding men, that's who they're going to be. Because that's a part of who they are as a person. It is a part of their identity as a man. If he's slovenly and lazy and, good for nothing and he's shiftless, then that's what he's going to be. He's going to be good for nothing and shiftless until that don't work for him no more. As long as it worked for him, he's not going to do it. Thank you, King Saul. There's no amount of kitty cat you gonna give. I know somebody told you it was a special snowflake kitty cat, but it is not. There is no amount of kitty cat. I don't care how good you throw it back. I don't care how good you throw it forward. I don't care how good your throat game is. I don't care how good nothing. I don't care how good none of that is. A lot of y'all is overrated anyway because you had too many bodies. Just because you experience don't make it no good. Okay? Because you had too many men anyway, so it is not as good as you think it is. Okay? So I don't care how good your sex is or how good you think it is. There's no amount of that that's going to make him do what you want him to do if that is not what he is already doing or already want to do. Okay? There's no amount of going through his phone. There's no amount of trying to shame him. There's no amount of arguing you're going to do. There's no amount of confronting his other baby mamas or confronting the other chicks or confronting the other or trying to text the other woman or trying to prove that you really is his woman. And that, no, there's no amount of that that's going to make him turn it around. He's not going to do it. The best you can hope for when you do that type of stuff is that he gonna become slick and he gonna start really lying to you. He gonna try to start hiding it more. He gonna tell you the things that you want to hear. He gonna say what it is that you want him to say, and he is going to continue to do whatever he was doing. He just gonna be sneakier because now he realized that he got to sneak with you because you can't handle when he is really himself in front of you. Thank you, Keon. I appreciate you cooking in this one. They don't want to do the work to avoid this happening to them. Ended up 10 years of baby mama. Exactly. Exactly. Whatever it is he's going to do, he's going to do that. And you're not going to change him. You're not going to make him stop. You don't have the authority to make him stop. Let's just start there. You don't have the authority to make him stop doing nothing. Instead of trying to make men stop doing something you want them to do or start doing something you want them to do, and instead of doing all of that foolishness, why don't you figure out who you are as a woman and then attract the type of man that have certain particular qualities already? And when I say qualities, I don't mean how much money he have. I mean qualities as a human being. So if you want a man that work 9 to 5 and stuff like that, you need to find one that's already doing that. You're not going to be able to stop him. And most of y'all don't got the femininity that it takes to start him. Y'all ain't ready for that conversation. Because sometimes you get with a man that's a little bit kind of lazy. He might be a little shiftless or something like that. He might lack a little bit of ambition or something. And y'all don't be having the femininity, nor the feminine energy, nor the lioness energy to make him get up. Because sometimes a man will get up. It be a particular woman, she come with that energy, and he said, I got to do something. I got to do something for her. I can't just be lazy with her and keep her. She's valuable. I want her around, and I know that if I want her around, I'm not going to be able to be a Madden King and have her around. So I got to stop this with this Madden King stuff. I know how to go out there and get me something. Because I got to go out there and get something so that she can want me and I can give her something. Sometimes your feminine energy make him stand up. So a lot of y'all ain't even got what it take to make him do all that. You think you can argue him into stuff and badger him into doing things. That is not how you get men to move. That is not how you get men to move. This might be Patreon level again. Thank you, Norman. Thank you, sweetheart.
Thank you for supporting me on my show. Okay. I just wanna thank you for helping me on my show. All right.
Thank you, sweetheart. Thank you so much, sweetheart. A lot of y'all don't got what it takes to make a man get on up. Because sometimes they will get up. And when you a lioness and you got that energy, the lionesses know what I'm talking about. Lionesses. I've had men that knew that they was not up to par. Okay? I have been around men that knew that they wasn't up to par. And they said, to be with you, I get it together. I know I ain't together. Just give me a little time. Just give me a little time. I was 18. I remember I was 18. I was walking down the street. I had just became Muslim. It couldn't have been too many months. I had on my headscarf. I was walking down the street. A young boy, he couldn't have been no older than me. He was standing on the corner slanging them things. When I passed by him, he said, "Can I stop you for a second?" I knew what he was doing. I said, "What's going on?" He said, "You so pretty." Thank you. He said, and you know what that boy said to me? He said, "I'll stop being on this corner to be with you. I'll find me something to do. Because I would love to be with you, but I wouldn't dare put you in this life with me. I'll find me something to do to be with you. You'll make me come off this corner. I'll come off this corner." I'll come off this corner to be with a woman like you. That boy ain't know me. It was the energy. I have had men over the years tell me stuff like that. I'll get me something better. Give me a minute. Give me a little time. I'm gonna get something better. I'm gonna come back and get you. I got to do better to get you. Because I got to give you something. I want to give you something. Because that was what he felt like I deserved. They be feeling that way. Men be feeling that way. That's how you get a man to move. The energy. So no, I got to take care of you. I got to take care of you. I've had men say that to me over there. I got to take care of you. Ain't no way I'm not going to make you do nothing. You're not going to have to do nothing with me. I'm going to take care of you. Thank you. And Donnie said maybe she should have put on the tam and Archie. Boy, if you don't leave me alone about that tam hat. That's why Kevin used to say the FBI was what, feminine? What did he say the FBI was? Feminine, beautiful, and inspiring. Is that what he said? Feminine energy is inspiring to men. When it's really there and it's palpable and it's powerful, they get inspired by that. They want to do stuff. They want to start doing stuff. A lot of y'all ain't got that. You come with that little masculine energy, you call yourself trying to whoop him into something. That's when he start fighting you. He not doing that. He ain't trying to hear what you trying to say because you talking crazy. But you come with that feminine energy, and I'm telling you, sometimes them doughboys be like, nah, I ain't gonna do this. If I can get with you, I ain't gonna do this. I'm gonna do something else. That's how you make a man move. That is how you inspire a man to move in a certain direction. With your feminine energy. Coming over there trying to argue at him like you his mama. That ain't about to do nothing. He don't do what his mama say. He ain't did what his mama said since he was 11 years old. He don't do what his mama say. So you ain't gonna be able to come over there and tell him do nothing like his mama say. I have had men to come to me and tell me that their life is not together. They knew that by seeing me, then subsequently wanting a woman like me, they want me. And then it made them think this is all within a matter of moments. Made them think, wait a minute, my life ain't together. Because if my life was together, I could get her. But I can't even do it. Because my life ain't together. My life is not together. I can think of several things right now that is not together. I have had them moments with me, and it always throw me off. That's why I can't even have you. They will tell me that I can't even get you. I can't even really talk to you because I have to come back to you. I don't know if you even gonna be available. And I got to come back to you because I got to get my life together. But only lionesses know about that. Only lionesses know about it. If you're not no lioness, you likely have never experienced that. Okay. So. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. A lot of y'all that don't, if you have never had a man to tell you he need to get his whole life just because he saw you walk by him, you need this book. Reclaiming the Black Feminine, you need this book. It is on sale, okay, at crimsoncure.com. You can get it on sale right now and start on the way to reclaiming that feminine energy that actually inspires men to be better and to do more. Because that is what true, genuine feminine energy is actually supposed to do. We are supposed to inspire the men to better and inspire them to greatness, not try to badger them into doing stuff that we want them to do. So, if you want to learn how to be feminine enough to inspire a man and do better for yourself, you need this book, crimsoncure.com. Somebody put the link in the chat. The link is also in the description box, all right? It's on sale at Amazon if you want the digital version as well. And with that being said, thank you everyone for the contributions. I greatly appreciate them. Okay. Jump down in the comment section. Let me know what you think. Like, share, subscribe to the channel if you have not. Once again, I'm your host, The Crimson Cure, and this was my perspective. Bye-bye, Crimsonites.